well. So please try to avoid that. Okay. Uh, let's just start, guys. I hope my voice and screen is clean and clear. Let's just begin with a brief revision that what we have done till now, right? A brief revision that what exactly we have done till now and what are we left with, right? Currently, the students taking the class live, they had the first interaction with me. So a brief review of a recent result that we had. In fact, I'll be sharing that as well in the group. For APM, my two students have scored top, right? Two students top, one from Nepal, who got 80 marks in APM, and one is from Saudi. She got 68 marks, and they both scored top, right? His name was Krishna and her name was Nora, right? So my name is Abdul Basit. I have been teaching this paper from quite a few attempts, and now from the regular attempts, the students are scoring top. So therefore, I thought I should be introducing you. In fact, for the top details, I'll be sharing that in your group as well. Now, sir, it is my 10, right? Okay, so it's my 10 and approx 25 days, right? Approx 25 days to cover up the course or to plan accordingly so that, right, we can do. Now, sir, what we have to do to pass APM, right? I won't be teaching you guys to score the tops for your respective countries. The thing is that you don't need to focus on that. My way of teaching is that just try to make sure that you have scored at least a pass mark, that the money is not being wasted, the career is not being ignored. So make sure that you have been focusing on to scoring at least 50, right? Now, sir, how to do that? See, in your LMS, you have certain theoretical chapters, right? In your LMS, you have certain theoretical chapters. If I could number them as, there are, I believe, just a second, 14. Just a second, let me open up the LMS. Yeah, so starting from mission and vision, then till topic 14, right? So there are 14 chapters, right? Just a second. Yeah. So there are 14 chapters in which what I have did, I've tried to construct theoretical arguments, right? Construct theoretical arguments. We read the theories and then plus a 1-2 past paper, right? As far as now, you should have done these 14 chapters, right? As far as now, you should have done this. So, but since I started late, I am not a complete 3-month student. I do work as well. So the thing is that I haven't done these 14 chapters till now. So what I allow you guys is that what I allow you guys is that you should be at least covering these 14 chapters in 10 days. Guys, it's approx, I believe, 40 to 50 hours. And if we dedicate that in a 10 days, so considering that you learn at a speed of 2, because LMS allow you to speed it and I kind of repeat it again and again. So if you think, so these 40 to 50 hours, approx 4 hours a day, if you study, right, you're going to be using it. And once these 14 chapters are done, so that means majority, I'm not saying 100%, majority of theoretical areas are being covered, right? Majority of theoretical areas are being covered, right? So this chapter needs to be done anyhow, right? Without that, you cannot proceed with past papers. Now, once these 14 chapters are done, let's say we still have approx 15 days. So we'll be diving on to past papers and our focus would be prime focus would be on most recent past papers being done at first, the first in, first out, right? So this would be our priority. Now, sir, can you give us a summary of past papers that we have to attempt? Yeah, I can give you a summary as well, right? Summary of past paper that we can attempt. Obviously, I'll take the question, please. I'll take the question. You can write the question on the chat box and I'll take it. Right? A summary of past paper that we can attempt. So this is the analysis that I've made for you guys. This is the analysis I've made for you guys. So what ACCA do is ACCA releases, right? ACCA releases questions in every attempt, right? They call them as a mock exam, which is a part of a real exam being tested. Now you have to prioritize in 10 days that you're gonna be solving these complete past papers. Must please take picture of these questions that without attempting these questions, you are not going to attempt the exam. It's your priority that you have to attempt these questions, right? Now see, this starts from September 22. The thing is that in the exam, in the past papers practice session, right? In the past papers practice session, I have already solved December 24 question release, right? I've already solved that December 24 question releases, huh? I've already solved that December 24 question release. So that means that is done. Now we have to do these questions, and all that. So this is how, and believe me guys, I can guarantee you are passed if you attempt these questions in exam time and condition, getting it marked by me and making sure that you have attempted on a fair terms. I can guarantee you, and attempting on exam software as well. Yeah, and attempting on a exam software and attempting an exam time and condition, believe me, you're gonna be acing this. You're gonna be acing this, right? Easily. 5 to 6 complete papers, and that's done. This is how we are going to ace APM. So again, couple of theoretical classes with 1 or 2 past papers being done here, so that we are aware of the theoretical coverage. We are aware of the theoretical coverage, and then 15 days, and then 15 days effective past papers practice. And so which past papers we have to solve? These guys, these past papers. Some will be solved by me in the live classes. Some I would give you an assignment. Some you have to solve by yourself. And before going on exam, make sure that, yeah, we have done this list. See, Sir Basit, we have done this list. Now we are going in exam and we're going to be acing it. This is how this paper is done. And this is how the top scores are being achieved, guys. This is how the top scores are being achieved as well, right? So I believe that I am clear, and I'm quite right. And the last thing is reading my theoretical book, right? That's at last, like in last 4 days we'll be reading, so that if any topic, any theoretical topic is being assessed, right? So that if any theoretical topic is being assessed, we could at least answer, right? Because this is an APM, there can be 10 to 15 marks that I haven't taught you. That can be 7, 10 to 15 marks, right? So that if you have read the book, you can argue, you can write, right? So that if any theoretical topic arises, we could at least answer a bit, right? We could at least answer a bit. Now, guys, please tell me, am I clear that this should be the last 25 days plan from your teacher, and I can say if someone follows it, you're gonna be passing it. So let's take the questions that you have written. Oh, there are too many questions. What would you advise in terms of the remaining days? What should be the deadline? I guess, Maz, I have answered to this particularly. Sir, please share the list. Okay, so guys, this list is already being shared with the PDF, Maz. In the PDF, I'm sharing that. The PDF that you have, this list is already there, but I'm sharing that in group as well, right? So it's in your group now. And one of the students is saying that's your book. Which book you are talking about? Which book you are talking about? So the book that I'm talking about, I'm sharing that in group as well that you have to read, please. I have made my notes for you guys. So just a second. I'm sharing that as well. Just a second now. I've summarized the notes for you in that book, and I've attached some extra past papers as well. And I have shared that in your group. It's loading, guys. Yeah. So it's in your group, the notes and all that. Right? Okay. So these 14 chapters are Munib, basically the classes on LMS. Huh? Classes on LMS. These are that. I believe you are enrolled student. So these are classes on LMS, right? So guys, this is the plan. Now tell me if there's any question in regarding to this plan. Do you guys believe that yes, it is achievable in these 25 days? Please tell me first. You guys believe it? We have to do this, guys. We have no options. We have to do it anyhow, right? There is no option left. We have to do it anyhow. Okay. So now let's just start with this set of questions, right? Let's just start with this set of questions. Fearties, Clonyard, and Roan University. I'll try my best to take at least 3 to 4 classes to cover these questions, right? At least 3 to 4 classes to cover these questions. We'll be trying it. This is the 50-mark question. This is 25. This is 25, right? And one more thing, guys. When I give you an assignment, right? When I okay, just a second. When I give you an assignment of any question, right? Assignment of any question. Now that means, what does that mean, sir? What does that mean? That means you have to attempt that question, right? And then read the examiner answer. Read the examiner answer for extra points. But while reading the examiner answer, student says that, sir, this seems that it's unachievable, right? This seems it's unachievable. The examiner has written too much details. Now let me show you one thing. Let me show you, because I'm a tutor of SPL as well. So I was just going through. See, for SPL, what examiner writes, right? For strategic professionals, sorry, for strategic professionals, what examiner writes, just for your knowledge. Let's see what they are saying, that it's not always possible to publish suggested answers which comprehensively cover all the valid points which candidates might make. So Mars, they are saying, in fact, our answer do not cover all the points. Like, for example, there are my examiner answer and you have written certain point. That's right, but it's not covered in our answer. Credit will be given to those candidates for points not included in the suggested answer, but which nevertheless are relevant to the requirements. So that means there can be some extra points which are not mentioned in examiner answer. But sir, this is for SBL. I am saying this is for APM as well. This is for SBR as well. This is for AAA as well. The thing is, whichever paper is theoretical, is judgmental, can have some extra points. One thing, so I guess one of the queries being resolved. That's can we write like examiner, or do we have to write the exact points that examiner is writing? I believe I've clarified that. Please confirm me. Now the second thing is, in addition, in this integrated case study, points made in one question may be reintroduced or fully developed in other questions, as long as these are made specific context. Now this is I believe for SPL, because that's an integrated case study. So leave this point, focus on the green ones only. The suggested answer presented below may give much more detail. Please listen to this, guys. Please, please, please. The suggested answer presented below may give much more detail than would be expected from most candidates under examining conditions. So examiner is saying that my suggested answer have many more points that I can't expect from a student under examining condition giving that much answer. Mars, am I clear? They may also have used a particular approach or model which should not be taken as the only approach. And one more thing, that examiner answer can be on another approach. Your answer can be on another approach. And there is no fixed approach for any answer. Examiner has stated this. See, honestly, I haven't drafted this. The examiner has shared with you guys. You can open up the answers of SBL and see. Right? Different approaches and structuring of the answers are expected, and full credit will be given for relevant appropriate solutions. So guys, full credit will be given for the relevant appropriate solution. So if you are writing relevant, irrespective of writing the points that examiner has written, you will get the marks. The answers provided here are therefore intended to support revision for the examinations. The answer here are intended to support revision and tuition. So finally, it should be noted that candidates will not get full professional skills in task requirement if they have not presented their answers. So guys, for professional skills, I have taken the class, I believe. So for professional skills, you have to take that class. You have to see that class. You'll know how to apply the professional skills. And in every past paper, we believe we apply. So in the format they've asked for example, if the task is to be completed using a report and evaluation skills are tested, even the answer has met specifically stated evaluation criteria, candidates will not be able to earn the professional marks if they have not used a format. So importance of format as well. So guys, I believe this 3-liners paragraph would have added too much confidence in you. Do you guys agree with that? That see, examiner has been stating the same thing. Examiner has been stating the same thing, that you are not obliged to write like an examiner, but still I will say to read the examiner answer, right? Still I'll say to read the examiner answer. It gives you kind of some extra points, right? it gives you a tone to write, right? It gives you a tone to write, and similarly, it gives you a tone to write. It gives you professional judgmental points. So therefore, whenever I say attempt that past paper, after attempting the question, you'll be sending it to me on my WhatsApp number. It's +92 331 2623 849 on my WhatsApp number, and you're gonna be doing these things. So do you know about these things? Now, what I've taught till now, have you known about these things, or this is the first time that you have observed? All the three students can tell me about this. Yes, therefore I provide the checking service. No? Therefore, I provide the checking service that you cannot idealize that whether you have checked on, cannot check your answer by yourself. Therefore, I am here to check it, right? So I have a team complete which analyzes and say that okay, we'll check it that if you have made the right points or not. And in fact, I go through as well. Okay, so guys, this is the planner now, and now let's dive into the first question that we have to do. Right, there might be certain questions, there might be certain questions that So there might be certain questions that have some new topics which you haven't read yet. So don't worry, I'll explain the topic first, and then I'll do the uh, question by yourself, right? And whichever question you guys are attempting, attempt it on exam practice platform, right? Whichever question you guys are attempting, attempt it on exam practice platform. So what we're gonna be doing, we'll be reading question, right? Uh, Planning that what can be written, right? Then we'll off the class. You're gonna be writing that, right? You're gonna be writing, attempting that question, and then tomorrow we'll have one more class on discussing my answer and your answer, right? So tomorrow again, same time we'll connect. I'll screw up your weekend. I'll not allow you to go and just waste your weekend. You have to study on weekend some extra hours, right? So tomorrow again at same time we'll connect, and we'll make sure that we do read this answer. Okay. So guys, this is a 50-mark question, particular five particular exhibits. So before reading the question, it's in strategy. Read the requirement, right? Read the requirement first, then read the exhibit. Okay, read the requirement first, then read the exhibit, and then what we have to do, we have to read the requirement again so that we are freshen up with the requirement, and then answer, right? And then answer. Some of the students say that, sir, I cannot complete the paper. See, if you are attempting paper, if you have attempted mock exams once or twice, you might not be able to complete it on time. But if you have attempted 10 papers straight away in exam time and condition, I know it's a good commitment. But if you attempt it in that manner, you're going to be easily acing this paper, guys. You're going to be easily acing this paper, okay? So, and completing this paper as well. So write a report to the CEO of Fearties to respond to her instructions for work in the following areas. So KPIs and balance scorecard, right? KPIs and balance scorecard, it's 22 marks. Then non-financial performance indicators, it's NFPIs. And then the management style at Fearties. I believe this seems to be a general discussion. I believe this seems to be a general discussion, right? So professional marks will be awarded for the demonstration of skills in communication, analysis, evaluation, and we have already made a class on it. You can take that and you can see 10 marks for this. So while reading the requirements, right? See, while reading requirements, we are still not sure on requirements, right? We are still not sure on requirements. Why, sir? Because these aren't the requirements. The requirements listed here, they are not the requirements. So saying, are you in your senses? What have you done? Why are you talking like that? See, these are the topics they have tested, right? These are the topics they have tested. The requirements are in exhibits. The requirements are mentioned in exhibits, and you have to predict that by yourself. So that means there's certain level of difficulty as well, right? That means there is a certain level of difficulty as well. Do you guys agree with that? A certain level of difficulty is here because the requirements stated are not the requirements. They have stated that in the exhibits. So now go on to the exhibits. Remember that one was financial performance indicators, the other one was non-financial, then the other one was management style. Now read it, right? Now read it and see what can be done. So Fearties Securities is a business. Fearties Securities is a business owned and run by the Fearty family. Okay, so it's a family-owned business, right? Try to write down your points. Family-owned business, okay, which provides security personnel to other businesses. So kind of a guard. They supply guards, they supply humans, they supply security staff. So I believe it's a service organization, right? They provide the services. They do not provide the manufacturing goods. Are you guys agreed? Guys, please interact on the chat box as well. Whichever questions you have, I'll take it after. I'll take it after 10 to 15 minutes. I'll see the chat box. So do interact, right? Otherwise, you might sleep as well. So factory guards and security staff at large public events, for example, music concerts. Okay, so if there's a music concert, so they'll supply the guards. They'll charge a fee for that. We don't know the fee arrangement. We'll see it later on. But keep the requirement in mind. So you have read the requirements or the topics so that you can assimilate your data accordingly. Now, the business has grown along with the market for outsourcing of security personnel roles, and Fearties is one of the largest of such service providers in B-land. So I believe that we are one of the largest, and one of the largest indicates there is competition, right, Mars? The Fearty family has always managed the business to increase profits without excessive risk taking. So they are kind of a people who are risk averse. They do not like taking risk, right? They do not like it that much. Most of the family are financially dependent. Now see my reading as well. I'm reading it slowly. I'm taking more time so that you can understand what students do a mismanagement. They read question in hurry and they do not have the points. So what they do read again and it takes more time. So it's better to read it once, but with clear convention. So what I recommend to the Asian students is that while reading, convert it into in your native language. Like my language is Urdu. So in my time of exam, what I used to do, I read, I convert it in Urdu so that I can easily memorize, right? These papers are big papers. You cannot read it again and again. Or you can just mark it that here's the point that I have to go through again, right? So most of the family are financially dependent on the business through their pay and dividends. Okay, so they are dependent on the salary and the dividends. The founder of the business was an accountant, and it has become a family tradition that the CEO would always have an accounting background. So, a CEO is one of the accountant. I guess it's good news for you guys as well. As a result, the performance reporting has always focused on financial results. Now, one bad thing is that since it's an kind of an old accountant, they might be an old accountant, so he might be focusing everything on financial. But the thing is that now a key area is non-financial performance as well, right? And we have studied that in integrated reporting as well. If you haven't taken the integrated reporting class, I'll allow you to take it. Don't worry. Okay. So that means that traditional accountant, they have just used the financial performance indicators, and we read the requirement. There is an area of non-financial, so they might be applying the non-financial performance indicators first time. Guys, you have to think like that, right? You have to think like that. Now, a new generation of the family has risen. Oh, modern area, just like you and I, guys. In fact, I'm younger, so it's like a modern generation, right? So a new generation came with a goal of increasing growth by expanding uh, Fearties operations into different countries using its existing reputation. So they are looking for growth, right? They are looking for growth. They might be taking risk. The newly appointed CEO has recognized that the choice of KPIs may not be suited to the current business environment where the company is facing various issues. So they think that KPIs that we have opted is not good enough. Huh? Okay, the KPIs that we have opted, it's not that much good enough. We should be thinking on some other KPIs for currently the issues that we are facing. The KPIs seems to be the traditional ones. Changing government regulation with most customer-facing Fearties staff now required to hold a certificate showing they are aware of the relevant laws and health safety procedures to their duties. Indeed, this factor is a reason for the growth of outsourcing. So, government regulation has been passed that should be that guard is must, right? Guard is must, and a customer-facing and a certificate to hold a certificate showing they're aware of the relevant laws and health and a trained guard, right? A trained guard, like who knows how to use gun, who knows in Pakistan, apologies, but it's not like that much that trained guard available. But since it seems to be a developed nation, so there must be a regulation regarding the guards as well, right? And this has been a factor that Fearties has growth as well, right? Fearties has been following this. Now, difficulty in recruitment and retention as the pay for customer facing staff is low by BLAN standards. So the thing is that this business is a lower pay. So there might be staff turnover being high. I believe that you guys know about the staff turnover, staff leaving the organization. It must be high. Why, sir? Because it's a low pay. So it must be high. Why, sir? Because it's a low pay organization. Then legal difficulties arising from claims of Fearties staff being too aggressive. Okay. So our staff is aggressive as well. Our staff is aggressive as well. So that's the problem, right? That's the reputation concern. Now the importance of here comes the importance of non-financial performance indicator. Here comes the importance of non-financial performance indicators, right? The CEO has asked you to prepare a report to the board on several performance management matters for Fearties. Okay, so CEO has asked us, and what were the requirements, if you can remind? KPI and the balance scorecard, non-financial performance indicators, management style. Okay. Now, Exhibit 3, the CEO is considering the introduction of a balanced scorecard approach. I believe here comes the requirement. Right? And wants you to perform an evaluation of whether the existing KPIs cover the financial perspective of the board. So they want you to evaluate the existing KPI as well, right? Now, this seems to be a requirement. Evaluate existing KPI, that it follows the balance scorecard financial perspective or not, right? That it follows the balance scorecard financial perspective or not. She has provided you with a draft copy of the most recent board report to illustrate current reporting and other financial information. This draft has been prepared quickly by a junior accountant. Guys, whenever a junior accountant came, there are chances of errors. Whenever in ACC exams, I'm not saying 100%, but whenever they have used a junior accountant, there are high chances of errors, okay? So she has provided you with a draft copy of the most recent board report to illustrate current reporting and other financial information. This draft has been prepared quickly by a junior accountant, and the CEO believes that there is an error in return on capital employed calculation. See, I told you whenever which you should correct. So requirement is this. Whether it fits for the balance scorecard, then errors in rows. Now, these all are requirements. So your answer should be addressing these things. If your answer is not addressing these things, that means no marks. Now, she then requires reasoned recommendations for two indicators within each of the remaining three perspectives: customer, internal business, and innovation and learning. These indicators should address the issues facing the business. So, recommendations, right? Recommendations for two indicators. Like, what should be the indicators for these three perspectives? Now, if you analyze this requirement, what they have said you. Now, what student would do, right? What you guys would have done in the previous attempts, that you must have read this and you must haven't noted the requirements that what you have to do, right? Now I know that what I have to do. Apologies for the bad handwriting. Existing KPI, you have to evaluate that whether it suits for balance scorecards financial perspective. Then there are errors in rows, so you have to write on that as well. Then you have to write the recommendations for the three other perspectives, which are customer, internal business process, and innovation and learning. A very easy peasy question, guys. But what you guys would have done here, you must have not noted this and have written in a general manner. Do you guys agree with me? Please confirm. Now, in the past, the board has resisted the introduction of customer service due to the worries about ability to measure performance using this method. So customer service are plenty of non-financial performance indicators, right? This is a non-financial performance indicator. CEO is aware that many of the new indicators from the introduction of the balance scorecard are likely to be non-financial. And I believe when it's the service sector, the key role is of non-financial, right? You cannot rely on financial terms in the service sector. You can start in your question like that as well, right? So therefore, she has asked that you evaluate for the board the problems associated with measuring and managing performance using non-financial performance indicators at Fearties, using customer surveys as an illustration. So another requirement arises. She has asked us. So another requirement here came that board the problems associated. So what you have to do, you have to write the problems associated with measuring and managing performance using non-financial performance indicators. So here you have to write on problems of non-financial performance indicators. Can you just tell me what can be the problems of non-financial performance indicators? Sir, they include subjectivity. This would be a point. Sir, not easy to measure. Like, how much satisfied are you? How are you going to be measuring it, right? How much? Not easy to measure, right? And similarly, judgmental. One good service do not describe other. Think of the points at first, like what we're going to be writing. Yeah, while writing, we're going to be add on many more points, but think of some good points as well, right? So one good service, do not offer or do not assure on other, right? Do not assure on other. Then exhibit 5 here, given these changes, there may have been changes in management style. Oh, since now we are focusing on the not financial performance indicators, so we should be changing the style of our management as well. The CEO also wants your assessment of the existing management style at Fearties and provide a justified recommendation for an appropriate approach. She has been taught about upward styles of using budget information, budget constraint, non-accounting, so wants a brief definition of these prior. Now this is a new topic which we haven't covered, right? So we'll be covering a new topic we haven't covered. We'll be covering in this past paper, right? We'll be covering in this past paper. You have to what's the requirement? The requirement is analyze the old style, how it works, and suggest the new style of management, right? And suggest the new style of management. This is how what you need to do. Then appendix 1, it's 686, 659 revenue. I believe it's the financial performance indicators, right? Rows. Oh, rows has some errors as well, so you have to think of it. There might be some errors as well. Operating profit, cash flow, dividend paid. Okay. And then appendix 2. So assets and liabilities. So we should be calculating the capital employed here. Pretty calculations of includes here. Dividend history has been here with you guys. And then net assets. This is our capital employed, I believe. Equity is this, and PAT is this, operating profit is this, to calculate the revised goals. And now here comes the requirement. So 22 marks. Sir, how much I'm going to write? I'm going to write at least 15, 16 points. But sir, our tutors from where we before studied have told us that you should be writing 11 good points. You should be writing 11 good points worth 2 marks, right? 11 good points worth 2 marks. But sir, you are saying to write 15, 16 points. Why? Are you guys sure that these 11 points you are going to write gonna be giving you good 2 marks? Are you guys sure on your drafting? I'm not sure even on my drafting as well. So therefore, we should be saying that we should be writing more, right? We should be writing more. Why? Because maximum of the points can be attained. There are certain points that we should be discussing. And see, there is no negative marking to try to write more. But be on time. We'll allocate the time as well. Okay. And then non-financial performance indicators. So 7, 8 good points here. 7, 8 good points. Our work would be done. And guys, there should be time allocation as well. So how has that been done? See, we have an exam of 3 hours and 15 minutes. So that equivalents to 180 plus 15. That means 195 minutes, right? So 195 minutes divided by 100. So it's 1.95 minute per mark. So allocate the time here, right? Allocate the time here. It's 1.95 per mark into 22. So it's 42 minutes here. And then 8 into 1.95. So it's 15 minutes here. And then 10 into 1.95. So it's approx 20 minutes here. But this includes the reading time as well, right? You have to keep practicing so that you read it hurriedly. Now, guys, this is all from my side for today. You have to attempt these questions, or you just jot down some points, right? Try to jot down some points, like what you're gonna be writing. Jot down points, please. What you're gonna be writing, jot down it. So in tomorrow's class, I'll discuss my descriptive answer with you so that we can proceed on it. So these two questions, this question would be done. Similarly, in the next live class, we'll try to do the question 2 and question 3 as well. Okay. So any questions till now? Please confirm me. Mars, Kareem, any questions? Please confirm me. Otherwise, we can proceed to end this class, and you should be drafting it and sending it me by tonight. So tomorrow we can connect, right? Now, a good question, a very good and subjective question by Mars. That's would you able to solve all these questions that we have mentioned in the list, or you'll be just doing some of the questions? Guys, see, already this part has been done and uploaded on LMS. I'll try to solve this part and this part with you, right? Two parts, honestly, but these the ones that I'm doing with pink, these have to be solved by you in the last 10-15 days. I'll try to solve a couple of other questions as well, but at least you have to solve some past papers so that you can draft accordingly. Now I can solve all the questions with you because my ACC and ICW has been done, right? My qualifications has been done, so I can solve you. Your qualifications is pending, so you have to solve it. You do not have any option, right? So I'll try to solve maximum with you, but you have to give some extra efforts. Munib has a question that's I'm worried about 14 chapters theory. It will be difficult. I'm facing some deadlines. Any suggestions? So Munib, first, see, you have 25 days, right? What I can suggest you is that if you are quite confident, right? If you are quite confident and quite good in writing, you can skip these classes, right? You can skip these classes. Just read my theoretical book that I've shared. If you are good with theory, I'm saying, just read my theoretical book and then do these past papers that I've shown. That's the best thing that I can suggest you for your case. But my confidence would be on that student that has done these 14 chapters classes, so that they are very well equipped with the theory. The thing is that you can have certain other questions, certain new questions, new theoretical questions. You can have that, right? You can have that. But the problem is, you can have that. But the problem is that if you haven't covered these 14 chapters, so any old topic being tested, there can be a problem that you cannot replicate the answer. Just like reading this financial performance and non-financial performance, this seems easy because we have done a lot of practice. But the thing is that if any new topic arises, so we are already weak on that area, right? Because we do not cover 100% of the course. There are certain topics that they can test for 10-12 marks. They haven't that much been ripped on. So we are already at risk for these 12 marks that we're going to be scoring 30-40% in that. But if you have compromised these 14 chapters, so around 70-80% of the marks can be compromised, right? So if you believe that you have good areas of coverage on all these topics in these 14 chapters, read the book and do past papers. But if you believe no, so then try to take these classes and solve not all, but 3 or 4 past papers in exam time. That's the only thing that you can do, right? You cannot solve all. It's a practical fact. I'll be honest with you. You cannot solve all, right? If you're equipped with the job, you guys have to go for holidays as well, right? Like you guys have to go for taking leaves for the exams, right? So this is the only thing. But one student, those who have done all these 3 things, believe me, guys, he or she gonna be passing at any cost, right? Why after reading the theory and taking class, I've forgotten the theory? Mars, I can say that try to eat badam, right? Badam, you must be knowing it. Try to eat it so you can remember. It's a practical fact, Mars. See, when I was a student, I know that whenever I have covered a particular theory while sleeping, I think I have forgotten it, right? So that's kind of an stress or something that. But when in exam, I always felt confident. No, I am writing and I am writing. And these are general papers, right? While writing in an exam, you are not even sure that whether I have written right or not. So that's practical. It's not just with you. It's with Tareen as well. It's with Munib as well. It's with me as well. So you just have to focus on doing practice and making sure that you're following the right direction. This is the fact that will come even in exam day as well. But we have to be confident. And believe me, guys, I only focus on that philosophy. And the philosophy is that if I have done everything that I can do, There's no one that can stop me. The thing is that God will always promote me, always suggest me, always help me. The thing is that because I have done everything. But if you have compromised on these things, then there can be a negative outcome in the exam. So all the queries been answered now, or there's still left? Perfect. So let's end this class. And tomorrow, with your answers being dropped, with my suggested answer, we'll have a discussion. Okay. And if there are any queries, you can call me. I am available for 15 to 20 minutes on talking individually. Thank you. Uh, yeah, guys. I hope you guys are well. Just a second. Let me share the screen first. Yeah, guys. So we have I've got multiple students solving this question. So what I've done, I've made my pointers as well, right? Like which points could have been discussed as well, right? My pointers as well. So either you can match your answers here, right? Either you can match your answers with me or pointers with me, or you can have a go through to this answer and can amend your answer as well, right? So this particularly is my pointers that I've made by reading the question that we should be at least mentioning, right? So today's class is to discuss these 50 marks, right? In which 10 marks are for the professional skills, right? And I believe that for these professional skills, we have taken a separate class in your LMS. It is, so you should be taking it. So you should be knowing that exactly how we can demonstrate these skills, right? These are self-made. No one can teach you. It comes through practice, right? You have to make a bit practice here so that you can have it, right? So the first requirement was, if you remember, it was a key performance indicator and the balance scorecard. We do not get this by reading the requirements. So what we have to do, we gone to the exhibit 2 and we had an idea while reading here, or sorry, we had an idea while exhibit 3 reading here, that they were considering that a balanced scorecard approach and wants you to perform the evaluation that whether the existing KPIs cover the financial perspective. So the CEO has provided you with a draft copy of the most recent board report to illustrate current reporting and other financial information. This draft has been prepared quickly by junior accountant, and the CEO believes that there's an error. So whenever our word junior comes, obviously there's an error. So you need to evaluate your financial perspective of this company. And while reading the KPIs, so we see its revenue, its operating profit, its cash flow from operating profit, its dividend paid, and stats. So CEO is asking one thing, that whether this is enough or not, right? And recommendations on 2 indicators within each of the 3 perspectives, and checking of rows calculation. So I believe there is a multitask requirement. It is, right? I would be saying that it is a multitask requirement. So let's have a discussion on it, right? So first, obviously, being a professional, what you have to do, you have to give a brief idea, right? A brief idea of balanced scorecard. You have to give it, right? While starting directly, don't just dive onto the question. This is the professionalism that which you're going to be giving a brief start on that, right? So balanced scorecard includes obviously 4 perspectives: financial, customer, internal business process, and innovation and learning. The board needs strategic level KPIs across all 4 perspectives, not operational metrics. Yeah, one more thing that we need to highlight here is, which I have obviously seen in the examiner answer as well, that there are certain KPIs that seems to be focusing too much on, right? Focusing too much on operational things, right? It would be better that if you think of certain strategic level KPIs so that on which the board could focus on, right? On which the board could focus on, right? So you need to think of certain board level KPIs as well, right? Now, financial perspective, now see the drafted answer. And I believe that you guys have taken the yesterday's class, which I have already uploaded to LMS. And one more thing is that you guys have been working as well, so you know some key terms of the financial perspectives as well, right? Because see, while doing ACCA, you might be not knowing certain terms, but when you are working in an industry, you have a much more better idea. The reason that I can teach this particular topic well is that I have worked and applied these topics in the practical journey. So therefore, I can relate to this, right? So the objective of financial perspective is right, grow profit without taking excessive risk. Okay, so grow profit without taking excessive risks. This is your financial perspective, that you have to grow the profit and you have not to take any risk, right? So currently KPIs are entirely financial, a good point of criticism, right? Now this is skepticism, that you have just made current KPIs that are entirely financial, right? These are useful but have limitations as well. So guys, see how we have to start is, we have to introduce the balance scorecard. We have to identify that there are certain strategic level KPIs that you have missed, and then we have to identify that these are the financial perspectives. Now there's criticism and suggested improvements. If you can see the KPI, yeah. Just a second. Huh? Yeah. So when you see this KPI, right? When you see this KPI, so it's 686 and 659, 36 and all that. You while working in finance, we know that we should be working on percentages, right? We know that we should be working on percentages, kind of a growth. And if you can see CAGR, these type of margins, right? Cost increases, these type of percentages would add much better value, rather than these type of percentages would add much better value rather than just the fixed numbers, right? So we need to criticize as well as suggest the improvements. So it is revenue growth, right? It is revenue growth. Now what is it? That track year-on-year revenue growth percentage rather than the absolute figures. So one good point. And guys, these are the pointers, right? You have to make it in a paragraphic form. So why you are not solving it, guys? I have solved approx 20 plus questions and have uploaded already in the exam practice and before that as well. So it's now your turn to solve more and more questions, right? So track year-on-year revenue growth percentages rather than the absolute figures. Then break down revenue growth by market segment. Yes. Now another one more important thing. Market segment, like segmental information. I don't know whether you guys have worked in the reporting department or not, but since I have worked, I know that there should be segmental information given, which is an important KPI for the strategic level, right? That which segment is performing good. Since I am an OBU mentor as well, so what I prefer students doing a segmental revenue analysis. because it enhances your report, right? And similarly, you should be performing the KGAR as well. I don't know whether you guys know about KGAR or not. It's a very good KPI. What does it stands for? It's capital annual growth rate. It suggests that in the past 6 years, what's growth rate? It's accumulate, it's compound the 6 years growth rate and suggest you that how you are growing, right? In 6 years, what's your growth rate? I used to calculate these for my company that I've worked on, right? I used to calculate these as well. Now, then we have profitability metrics. Now, what's profitability metrics? That operating profits, obviously, they should be accompanied by margins, right? There should be margins to reflect efficiency, like how much margins do we have? You are not commenting on it. You are not writing it. That means you haven't seen that exhibit. This was one of the easy question. And what I see is that when the students score some good marks in the 50-mark question, they easily adapt that, right? They easily pass this paper. This 50-mark question is a decider. You have to score at least 35 to 40 marks from this so that the rest can be scored there. And for those 35 to 40 marks, you have to write more and in an efficient manner, right? Similarly, then comparison of margins across different markets, service lines should be given, right? Comparison of margins across different markets, across different service lines needs to be discussed, right? Then cash flow. Why not any financial metrics pertaining to cash flow are also important, right? So why not any that? So financial metrics pertaining to cash flow are equally important, right? They are equally important as well. Then cash conversion ratio, that cash flow from operations divided by operating profit. This tells that how much profit translates into cash. Sometimes the business is much profitable, but no cash. And I have seen those businesses that they are in losses, but they survive. And I've seen those businesses that they collapse. They were in profit, but they collapsed because of no cash, right? So there should be a free cash flow as well. Huh? There should be a free cash flow as well. Operating cash flow minus capex. Guys, are you guys understanding? At least contribute on the chat box, huh? That you guys have got my points, what I'm saying, how to draft it, how to write it, and what I'm saying. Huh? At least contribute on chat box. Then dividend and owner return. Instead of single year dividend growth, give 5-year average dividend growth. Yeah. See, guys, short-term trends does not guarantee you anything, right? Long-term trends suggests improvements, huh? Long-term trends suggest improvements, that what should be done. Short-term is a one-off trend. If you have got a 1-year gain, that might have improved at a good manner, right? But a long-term trend suggests that how this company is going, right? A long-term trend suggests that how this company is going. Similarly, evaluate dividend payout ratio, right? Like dividends divided by net profit to sustainability of returns, right? How much company pays. This is an important ratio as well. Huh? How much company pays. Then ROEs. The correct ROEs is operating profit divided by average capital employed. Use correct formula to avoid confusion with ROE. What we see is that they have applied a formula of ROE. For ROEs, you need to take average capital employed, right? Given the Fearties as low capital base, the ROEs may not be meaningful considering alternative return measures like return on assets or return on employee. Now, see, a very professional comment. So how can you make such points? I've read the examiner answer. I've passed my both qualifications. So I know how to write that, right? And I've worked also. So this requires, right? This requires an experience. This requires an consistency of drafting. And you're going to be writing these answers, right? So a very professional answer, I believe. And why is that? The thing is that since ROEs doesn't seems to be a valid KPI here. So instead of calculating ROEs or commenting on ROEs, we said that you should be doing either ROA or return per employee, right? Similarly, debt to equity ratio, cost to income ratio, staff cost. Now, these are some good KPIs. I'm not saying to write all, right? I'm not saying to write all, but at least give some suggestions as well, right? Suggestion matters here. So give some suggestions. It matters as well. Let me take the questions from the chat box. So Mars is saying that, sir, we forgot to mention they have calculated ROE and just suggested the improvements. Yeah. That's not an issue. At least half or might be 1 mark would have been deducted, not mentioning the calculation error. But at least you'll be getting the passing marks if you have at least mentioned the other KPIs and all that, right? Then forecasting and budgeting accuracy, right? Track variance. Why the variances are not being tracked? Since wherever I have worked, guys, I have worked in 2 to 3 entities. Wherever I work, I see the variance analysis regularly, like revenue variances, cost variances, profit variances. I see it regularly. So why they haven't been done? Helps management identify financial planning and effectiveness. It helps you to identify the planning and effectiveness, right? Then there should be some market-based or tailor-made KPIs. Then there should be some market-based or there should be some tailor-made KPIs. Why haven't been that recorded? Like, for example, a lifetime value of client. Although this would be on assumptions, guys, I've written more points. You don't have to write that much points. But if we'll discuss more, so in the exam, if you've got a similar kind of a question, you can at least write something, right? Because we have practiced to the latest extent or the last extent, we can say, right? Now, in customer perspection, right? In customer perspective, internal business perspective, innovation and learning, they told us to suggest 2 KPIs each, right? They told us to suggest 2 KPIs each, right? This told us to suggest 2 KPIs each. So why not? So customer perspective, customer satisfaction, customer retention, these two are very good, right? Customer satisfaction, customer retention, right? Yeah, but you have to write that this satisfaction, it's a subjective thing, right? And it's hard to quantify. This is one of the difficult KPI and might require assumptions as well. This is one of the difficult KPI and might require assumptions as well, right? Then we have customer retention. This is kind of objective. This isn't that much subjective. Do you guys agree with that? Because this is a calculation number, whereas satisfaction is kind of like some of the customers might be satisfied, some of the customers might not be satisfied. So that can be the case. This can be the case. Similarly, it measure percentage of revenue from existing clients. Fearties' key selling point is reliability. So percentage of jobs and adequately staffed, number of incidents requiring police intervention. So these can be some good KPIs. These can be some good KPIs. The ones, those who have suggested only these two would have got the maximum marks. Right? Then internal business process. Now, what's that? That we can say that whether, what's the definition of it? That whether our resources are being appropriately utilized or not, right? Whether the resources are being appropriately utilized or not. This is internal business processes, right? So we can say that this could be, or further, the other definition could be, or further, the other definition here could be, right? The other definition here could be of internal business processes is that how business controls or processes are running, right? So it obviously relates with employee too much, because employee is a resource, employee is a control maker, employee kind of. So recruitment type of KPIs should be here, right? Recruitment type of KPIs should be here, okay? Someone has asked about the agenda of the class. So we are solving or discussing one paper, one of the recent paper that we read just in the last class. Now, operating margin is useful. Yeah, it's useful for the processes, because if it's an increasing trend, so it's good internal business process perspective. Then key focus areas here would be employee recruitment and retention, right? Right. Average number of unfilled vacancies. Yeah, this is one of the good KPI. Average number of unfilled vacancies. Similarly, number and size of legal claim. Yeah, if our staff is being claimed legally, right? Because we provide the services. We provide the services. The factory guards, if you remember the business, so it was kind of a supplying guards. So if our are there been the legal cases, so there can be an issue as well, right? If there could have been the legal cases, so there could be an issue as well. Did you guys agree? Right? Then innovation,
Sorry.
Yeah.
Another could also be in terms of like when the security guards are sent on the field, how many times have the police been called?
Yeah, this could be one of the KPI. How many times police has intervened, right? How many times police has intervened? This could be one of the KPI as well. See, what's the best thing is here, that this is too subjective. So you could suppose or propose your KPIs as well that you think is suitable, and you should have been kind of an experience of this industry, that you should be knowing that what exactly is going around. So you can suggest the appropriate control that they are requiring. So this is kind of an easy for the ones, those who know about this industry and what's going in, rather than the ones, those who don't know that much about it. They'll be kind of emphasizing on a theoretical knowledge, right? Like they'll be suggesting operating margin, they'll be suggesting a bookish level of controls or bookish level of KPIs. But once those who have the experience, or those who have an idea that how exactly this particular service business works, they could suggest the ideas that you guys are generating, right? So this is what a practice would enable you, right? So similarly, if any service kind of a business intervened or being tested, you could suggest that, right? And anyone who can highlight the innovation would also be a great, right? Anyone who can highlight the innovation and learning perspective, this could also be a great one here. That in innovation, what we can do is we can say that the percentage of staff who are qualified, if our staff is on a growing trend, so that means we are on a learning trend, right? Because if our staff is continuously growing, that means we are emphasizing on training and time and cost of training. Yeah, innovation directly associates with training. We have studied this in our earlier studies as well. So if you want to be a good performer in the innovation area, I believe the best would be to train significant people or staff. And one more thing is that organizations have a regular spending budget on training. So one more KPI could be written here, that budgets or costs associated with training. So this could be one more important KPI as well, right? So this could be one more important KPI as well. Similarly, market performance indicators, so change in operating margin in new markets. Yeah, if your competitors are working in new markets, so you should be expanding there as well, right? You should be expanding there as well. Similarly, revenue from new services could be tracked. I believe that you must be knowing that the services that you are already in, they might be of lower margin. There are certain services, or there are certain businesses which are new to you, they might be of high margin. So a business should be innovating new streams of margins, right, regularly. So if you have generated any new streams of profit margins, that means you are an innovative business. But if you haven't generated any new streams of profit margins, that means you are not that much innovative, right? So trainings, new services, new contracts, new type of services, budgets associated with training, they all will suggest innovation and learning perspective. Right, guys? So I believe for 22 marks and being in a professional tone, I believe that this seems to be a very good answer in which you have started very fine here, right? This is again a pointers. You need to make that in paragraphic form. And for you guys, since you are in a professional exam, I don't think so that there would be that much difficulty. And we have solved certain past papers in which I've drafted. So no need to have a problem in that. Then financial perspective, we commented some KPIs that should be there for financial perspective. At least 4 of them should be in your answer as well, because they have given that much data, right? They have given that much data. Then customer perspective, 2 KPIs that I suggested, and usually if you would have written, these 2 would have been the KPIs, because from the customer perspective, or we can say complaints as well. Yeah, complaints could be one of the KPIs as well. Number of complaints and all that. This could be one of the KPIs as well. Similarly, police intervention. This could be one of the KPIs as well, right? Then internal business process perspective. Here the margins. If the margins are on an inclining trend, so that means your processes are effective, right? Similarly, how many employees that you have? Are the employees being overworked or overloaded with the work? So you need to employ more employees, right? So number of unfilled vacancies could be one of the important KPI. Number of and legal claims or the police intervention would be one of the important KPIs. And then innovation, we discussed time and cost associated with the budget. Staff turnover, yeah, one more important KPI that one has suggested, staff turnover. Yeah, that could also be a KPI about the business process, right? So for 22 marks, if someone haven't sent me the answer of this particular question, they're requested to send me so that I can mark it. And you have got my answer that these would have been the best points that I can discuss. So these were that, right? Then let's have a discussion on this 8 marks. And what's that? Non-financial performance indicators. Let's have a discussion on these 8 marks. That's non-financial performance indicators and what they are saying. So they are saying that in the past, board has resisted introduction of customer surveys due to the worries about the ability. See, I've read the question before, and while attempting the requirement, I'm also reading the question, right? So this is kind of a thing that you have to do, right? And you should be very good at reading. Yeah. So the CEO is aware that many of the new indicators from the introduction of balanced scorecard is likely to be non-financial. She has asked that you evaluate the board problems associated with measuring and managing performancing using non-financial performance indicators at Fearties. So it's all that. And then we have this. So comment on non-financial, right? So what's the one problems that you're going to be facing with non-financial is that you have not that much familiarity, right? And you have 8 marks. So you should be remembering that as well. You have 8 marks to it. So that means you should be writing at least 3-4 some good paragraphs or more than that, not less than that, right? So Fearties has relied on financial indicators. So management may lack experience and confidence. See, it's a change, kind of a change business. Right? In SPL, you must have studied. If haven't, don't worry. So change management, it's kind of a change management that you haven't used any of the non-financial KPI yet, and you're going to use it now. So you won't be that much experienced and you won't be that much confident as well, right? You won't be that much experienced and that much confident. The thing is that you haven't used it before. And believe me, guys, what I see is that for service business, from financial, what I see is that non-financial KPIs seems to be more important. Why? Because it's a service business, right? Here, customer satisfaction matters a lot. Here, new type of services matters a lot, right? So similarly, this may lead to misinterpretation if you're not that much experienced in not non-financial performances, or if you're not that much experienced in non-financial performance. So there can be underutilization, there can be misinterpretation for such indicators, right? There can be underutilization, there can be misinterpretation of such indicators, and that's the fact, right? There can be these misinterpretations. Similarly, challenges, guys, there's not, I don't think that in non-financial there would be a systematic data to record. I don't think so. There would be a systematic data to record. I don't think so, right? There must be unsystematic data. Or of first kind means this could be subjective as well. The data would be subjective as well, like the surveys. You might be, some of the customers might be saying, oh, you guys have the top-notch guards. But the other said, other would have commented that you guys don't have that much adequate guards or don't have that much professional guards. So it's kind of a subjective. So you have to analyze those feedbacks, right? You have to analyze those feedbacks and then have to ascertain it for data recording. One of the students has said that, can we speak about lean management here? The six requirements that we studied in that, right? The problem is that for 8 marks, getting that model doesn't offer that much things, right? But again, if you have explained in this particular circle, so there's no problem. There's no problem. This is a subjective paper. You can do that. But for 8 marks, I believe it would be enough if you write 4 to 5 good paragraphs. It would be enough, right? Rather than going for a complete detailed model in which you need to introduce, right? So non-financial data, especially customer satisfaction, is often collected through subjective means. Data is typically expressed in qualitative language, which opens wide interpretation. Yeah, like it's unclear whether poor service is better or worse than unacceptable. Like if customer wrote poor, if customer wrote unacceptable, how can you justify that which customer had more angerness and which customer had didn't had more angerness, right? So this is kind of I don't think so a very good style. But again, for service business, this prefers. And one more thing, you should be making, we could have written that here, that a standard satisfaction form would play a vital role if someone's fill it. Like if you have traveled through airlines, like recently I traveled through Emirates, so I had an idea while once the plane has landed, what happens is that they give you a feedback form, right? Like how was the staff, how was the safety, or how was the flight, and the food, and any problems. And at last, they leave a paragraph that please comment on the further valuation that you want to add. So this is kind of a driven feedback form would play a vital role rather than giving them a subjective form to write. This wouldn't be that much clear, right? So you wrote a problem or challenges, and then you also wrote a solution as well. So it's good, right? It's good. For per mark, see, the best would be, that for 8 marks, at least minimum 4 points, or maximum, it's up to you, right? For what I would say is, in my SPL and APM paper, I prefer that students write in between of minimum and maximum. Like maximum there should be 8, minimum there should be 4, so you should be writing at least 5 to 6, right? So it would be a good one. Perfect. Yeah. Then last requirement is the management style at Fearties. Now, this is what I believe is a theoretical or a general discussion. So you need to know about, and this is the requirement on which the maximum of the marks would student have been lost. Lost. The thing is that they haven't given that much data of this requirement, right? So it's just this exhibit. So what they are saying that there maybe have to be changes to the management style. CEO also wants your assessment of existing management style and provide justified recommendation for an appropriate approach. She has been taught about Hopwood's style of using budget information, budget constraint, profit conscious, non-accounting, and also wants a brief definition. So this is basically a topic that is usually not being taught. So doing this past papers, what we'll have an idea, we'll realize that there are certain 10 to 11 marks that have been solely tested from the book. So what we can do is once we are doing these questions, so we'll have an idea that, oh yeah, this is one of the topic. If we get an idea, we can write that. So you know about the budget constant style, that means too much cost focus. This is too much profit focus. This is too much accounting related work, right? So these are the styles. But the thing is that while doing these type of questions, you'll have a better idea. Okay, so this can be tested. Huh? So current management style is budget constant style. So what's that? It's short-term financial targets, and therefore they focus that much on financial KPIs. This is the reason that they focus that much on financial KPIs. Then emphasis is on a cost control and meeting immediate financial goals. Yeah, your emphasis on that. Huh? Meeting immediate financial goals, non-financial initiatives such as staff development, marketing, brand building. Yeah, one of the main non-financial KPI. Your brand should be made. If you're not working on your brand, you might be outdated by someone else who's working on it, right? Are not encouraged as they may reduce short-term profits as well, right? As they may reduce short-term profits and staff may not be rewarded for actions that benefit long-term but incur short-term cost. Yeah, this might be an issue if staff realize that you are too much short-term focused, so they might not be working that much at a long term. They might be they might be switching. You might be losing your human capital. This is all can happen if you're following budget constant style. It's good for the short-term targets, but when you have a long-term approach, I won't suggest that. And then we have two alternate. What's that? Profit conscious style and non-accounting management. Now, what's profit conscious? It's that long-term profitability aligning with the strategic goal and sustainable growth, right? You need to sustain your profitability, guys. Achieving humongous profits on only in 1 year is not worth it. You have to achieve a goal that it's consistent, it's sustaining over the years. This is profit conscious style, and this is what every management strategic goal should be. Like, we don't have to make our shareholders happy for 1 year. We don't have to make that. What we have to do, we have to make sure that we are making or giving them sustainable returns. And for that, if we have to compromise the current year's returns, it's fine. But we should be moving on sustainability, yeah? Encouraging investment in activities that improves future performances. See, the problem with the current year, it's fine. If it improves my future profitability, compromising 1 year of yourself that can guarantee you a 10-year sustainability, it's fine. It's good, right? And this style, the problems with this style is it typically overlooks non-financial factors such as employee recruitment, training and development, and may not fully support balanced scorecard, which requires broader evaluation. So, sir, since this had also issues, so what would be the fine one? So we have non-accounting management, reduces focus on budgetary or financial performances, promotes quality improvement, operational performances, and non-financial objectives. Non-accounting, that means non-financials, well suited for balanced scorecard. This approach may not align with the owner managed business, right? where the family managed, this approach might not be that much good with the family managed business. They are kind of focused on profits and financial returns, right? This was a family owned business. I believe you guys must be agreeing with me. So sir, in all these 3 points, what exactly is the best point? In all these 3 points, what exactly is the best point? The best point is what it is: hybrid. Hybrid. You should be focusing on profit as well, right? Which is kind of a family's need for financial performances, but you should be focusing on non-accounting approaches as well. Like, for example, promoting your staff, giving them rewards, mentioning that there's low staff turnover, ensuring that there's lesser dissatisfaction from the customers, right? And this would allow non-financial KPIs to perform or influence the decision making. So rather than just be a budget constraint or be a profit conscious or be a non-accounting conscious, the better would be that the change management should be, the management style should be changed in a hybrid management. Like for longer term, they are profit conscious, but to make sure that they are the business owners and they have a service business, so they follow the non-accounting management as well. Got it, guys? See, this is a subjective answer. This is a generic discussion, and you might be facing difficulties of these type of questions in the exam. But again, since we have got an idea now, right? We have got an idea now, so we should be ignoring it, and we should be making sure. Just a second, guys. I guess a couple of my SPL students have also joined the class. They didn't know that this is the APM, so I've removed it. Yeah. Yes, guys. So I believe that you guys have got now the requirements answer that I would have written. I'll share this PDF with you guys as well, right? I'll share this PDF with you guys as well. Now, if you have this, so what we have done now, we have done, I believe, Fearties, and you're gonna be drafting it and showing it to me. Then we have Cloneyard and Roan University. So guys, till the next class would be probably on Wednesday, right? And timing, I would make a little bit late because the students from UK, they are saying that, sir, it would be better if you arrange a time around 9 or 10 p.m. at mine. So at Pakistan's time, so it would be better for us. So I'll try to do that, right? And aim would be to discuss at least one question. But since the class would be now after a day now, right? So what you have to do, you have to attempt these both questions in an exam time frames so that I can discuss it with me in the class, right? So we have discussed this Fearties. Now you can attempt this question and send it to me for marking. Otherwise, do Cloneyard and Roan University. Let me take the questions if you guys have. Otherwise, this class will be off now. See, Mars, I would suggest to solve one by one now. I would suggest to solve one by one now for now. But since when we would have been attempted at least 3 complete exams of EPM, then I'll allow you to solve, open the stopwatch, and then do the complete 3 papers in one go. And one more thing, guys, those who are attempting this paper, they make sure that they have at least 5-6 days of leaves. Make sure that at least 4 to 5 days, so that you have at least 12 hours of study. At the last day, I do not recommend to study, right? At last day, I prefer, at my times of studies, I prefer that I should roam around, I should sit with my parents, I should discuss with the friends and all. At last moment, you don't have to study for the new things or anything. So a brief revision would be enough. But before that, you need at least 3 to 4 days so that you can skim through complete things and do maximum of the past papers, right? So this question is done now. Any questions? I'm available on WhatsApp. Otherwise, we'll be I'll be seeing you on Wednesday now, and for that we'll be having these two questions, Clonyard and Brown University. Try, Munib, try to do by yourself, and then I'll be solving it, right? So whatever questions I'm solving, I'm giving you pointers. So try, you should be solving by yourself as well, so that I can mark it. I can guide you. I can let you know that what are the pointers that you need to add on, so that you can score some good marks. Okay. Okay, guys. So it's all from my side for today. See you in the upcoming next class. Thank you.